This audiobook will guide you through the powerful principles of wealth building, rooted in inner growth and silent action. You'll discover how to cultivate a mindset of abundance, master the art of patience, and strategically harness the power of time to create lasting financial success. By learning to invest in yourself, embrace the unseen forces of wealth, and build momentum through small, consistent steps, you'll unlock the quiet confidence needed to thrive both personally and professionally. Perfect for individuals who seek financial freedom, personal fulfillment, and a life of purpose, this book equips you with the tools to grow rich without noise, empowering you to build a legacy of wealth that runs deep and endures. The Silent Millionaire. Published by Elixir. Chapter 1: The Unseen Path to Wealth. Wealth is often perceived as something loud and visible, gleaming cars, sprawling estates, and luxurious vacations posted for the world to admire. But true wealth, the kind that builds over time and endures, doesn't announce itself with fanfare. It moves in silence, grows in stillness, and flourishes out of sight. The notion of quietly growing rich may seem counterintuitive in a world that values ostentation, where success is measured by how visibly we flaunt our gains. But if you look closely at the most enduring examples of wealth, you'll see that the most powerful fortunes are those that remain largely invisible until they've already solidified. Just as an iceberg reveals only a fraction of its mass above water, the quiet millionaire's wealth is rooted deep in the unseen, where careful planning, disciplined habits, and intentional actions lay the groundwork for financial freedom. You see, the true art of building wealth begins with a shift in perspective. It isn't about chasing the next shiny object or making a grand display of financial success. It's about understanding that the most meaningful transformations happen beneath the surface, away from the eyes of others. This is where the unseen path to wealth starts, by recognizing that the most important work we do, the work that shapes our financial future, often goes unnoticed by everyone but ourselves. It's about cultivating an inner state of abundance before any material wealth can manifest. There's a certain paradox here: to grow rich, you must first become comfortable with the quiet, with the steady hum of incremental progress, with the invisible efforts that compound over time. Imagine your financial life as a garden. On the surface, there may not be much to show at first. You plant seeds, you water them, you tend to the soil, but for a long time, nothing seems to happen. There are no flowers, no fruit, no visible reward for your labor. And yet, beneath the surface, the seeds are sprouting roots, reaching deep into the earth, drawing nutrients that will eventually fuel their growth. The same is true for wealth building. The early stages are often marked by a lack of visible progress. You may be saving, investing, learning, and making sacrifices, but to the outside world, it looks as if nothing is happening. This is the unseen path, the silent phase where the real work is done. It is only after this phase that wealth begins to show its face, and by then, it is already too late to stop its momentum. Many people make the mistake of believing that wealth is a result of bold, dramatic actions, winning the lottery, landing a high-paying job, or making a single great investment. But the truth is, wealth grows in the quiet moments, in the small, consistent choices that compound over time. It's in the decision to live below your means, to invest rather than spend, to focus on long-term gains rather than short-term gratification. These choices don't attract attention. No one will congratulate you for passing up on a flashy purchase or for consistently contributing to your investment portfolio. But these are the choices that, over time, separate those who quietly build wealth from those who remain caught in a cycle of earning and spending. The unseen path to wealth also requires a degree of inner stillness. It demands that you resist the temptation to seek external validation for your progress. In a culture that celebrates excess and instant gratification, it can be difficult to stay focused on long-term goals, especially when the rewards are not immediately visible. But the quiet millionaire understands that true wealth is built on a foundation of patience and persistence. It's not about making a quick fortune, it's about building something that lasts, something that grows stronger with each passing year. This kind of wealth doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need to be flaunted or validated by others. It exists independently, grounded in the confidence that comes from knowing you're on the right path, even if no one else can see it. As you walk this path, there will be moments of doubt. You'll see others achieving what appears to be overnight success, and you may question whether your quiet approach is the right one. But remember, true wealth is rarely built overnight. The success stories that dominate headlines are the exceptions, not the rule. The vast majority of wealthy individuals have achieved their success through years, even decades, of quiet, consistent effort. They have mastered the art of compounding, allowing small gains to accumulate and grow over time, creating a snowball effect that eventually leads to significant wealth. This process is often slow, almost imperceptible in its early stages, but it is steady and reliable. And when it finally becomes visible, it is already too strong to be derailed. The unseen path to wealth also involves a shift in how you perceive value. It's easy to measure wealth in terms of dollars and possessions, but real wealth goes deeper than that. It includes the freedom to live life on your own terms, the security of knowing you are financially independent, and the peace of mind that comes from not being burdened by debt or financial insecurity. These forms of wealth are not always visible to the outside world, but they are no less real. In fact, they are often more valuable than the material symbols of wealth that society tends to glorify. To walk the unseen path, you must also embrace a certain level of discomfort. This path is not without its challenges. There will be times when you feel tempted to take shortcuts, to indulge in the instant gratification that society so readily offers. But the quiet millionaire knows that true wealth requires discipline and delayed gratification. It means making sacrifices today so that you can enjoy greater rewards in the future. It means staying focused on your long-term goals, even when the short-term rewards seem elusive. But in the end, the rewards are worth the wait. The quiet millionaire is not just wealthy in financial terms, they are wealthy in freedom, in security, and in peace of mind. The unseen path to wealth is not for everyone. It requires a certain mindset, a willingness to play the long game, and the discipline to stay the course even when progress is not immediately visible. But for those who are willing to embrace the silence, to do the work behind the scenes, and to trust in the process, the rewards are immeasurable. Wealth is not just about accumulating money, it's about building a life of abundance, security, and freedom. And the most enduring wealth is the kind that grows quietly, steadily, and unseen by the world until it is already fully realized. Chapter 2: Cultivating a Mind of Abundance. The journey towards wealth is not one of external conquest, but an internal transformation that begins within the mind. The way we perceive the world, our circumstances, and ourselves lays the foundation for everything we achieve, including our financial success. The truth is, wealth is not an external achievement, it is first and foremost a state of mind. Too often, people believe that if they can just reach a certain income level or acquire a specific possession, they will feel wealthy. But real abundance is not something you achieve by external means, it is cultivated from within, and once you understand this, everything begins to change. Imagine your mind as a landscape. In some places, it may be barren, marked by the scars of doubt, fear, and scarcity. In other places, it may be rich and fertile, teeming with the seeds of possibility, optimism, and hope. The key to wealth lies in the cultivation of the fertile ground. It is about identifying where scarcity thinking has taken root and replacing it with the seeds of abundance. Just as a garden must be carefully tended, so too must the mind. You must be vigilant in pulling out the weeds of negativity and self-doubt that threaten to choke the growth of your wealth consciousness. These weeds often manifest as limiting beliefs, the idea that money is hard to come by, that wealth is reserved for the lucky or the ruthless, or that financial freedom is out of your reach. These beliefs, when left unchecked, create a mental environment in which abundance cannot thrive. To cultivate a mind of abundance, you must first understand that the thoughts you think, the stories you tell yourself, and the emotions you harbor all contribute to the reality you experience. If you constantly tell yourself that you are struggling, that there is never enough, or that you will never be financially free, you are reinforcing those realities. Your mind is incredibly powerful, and it will work to align your external circumstances with your internal beliefs. This is not some mystical or abstract concept, it is grounded in the way our brains operate. The subconscious mind, which governs much of our behavior, is programmed by repetition. If you repeatedly feed it messages of scarcity and lack, it will seek to create situations that validate those beliefs. On the other hand, if you begin to cultivate a mindset of abundance, your mind will work just as hard to create that reality for you. It's not enough to simply think positively, however. Cultivating a mind of abundance requires a deep and sustained commitment to changing the way you perceive the world. It starts with gratitude, learning to appreciate what you already have, even if it's not yet what you desire. Gratitude is a powerful force that rewires the brain to focus on abundance rather than scarcity. When you are grateful for what you have, you open yourself up to receiving more. It's like tuning into a frequency that attracts abundance. Instead of focusing on what is missing, you focus on what is present, and in doing so, you begin to attract more of what you appreciate. But gratitude alone is not enough. To truly cultivate a mind of abundance, you must also practice disciplined focus. The mind, left unchecked, will often wander towards thoughts of fear, worry, and lack. It is human nature to dwell on what we do not have, to compare ourselves to others, and to fixate on potential losses. But the quiet millionaire understands that wealth begins with the ability to focus the mind on what is desired, rather than what is feared. This is where the power of visualization comes in. Visualization is not just about seeing yourself with material wealth, it is about feeling the emotions that come with abundance, security, freedom, peace of mind. When you consistently visualize and feel these emotions, you are sending a powerful message to your subconscious mind that this is your reality. Over time, your mind will work to bring this reality into being, aligning your actions, decisions, and opportunities with the abundance you envision. It is also important to recognize that a mind of abundance does not operate in isolation from the rest of your life. It permeates every area, influencing not only your financial success but your relationships, your health, and your overall sense of well-being. When you cultivate abundance in one area, it begins to spill over into others. You start to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You begin to attract people and circumstances that align with your vision of abundance. This is not magic or coincidence, it is the natural result of shifting your focus from scarcity to possibility. When you believe in abundance, you create the conditions for it to manifest in your life. Of course, cultivating a mind of abundance is not something that happens overnight. It is a process that requires ongoing effort and intention. You must be willing to confront your old beliefs about money and success, and to replace them with new, empowering ones. This is where self-reflection and self-awareness become critical. Take the time to examine the stories you tell yourself about money. Where did these beliefs come from? Are they serving you, or are they holding you back? Once you identify the limiting beliefs that are rooted in scarcity thinking, you can begin the work of replacing them with thoughts of abundance. This process is not always easy. It requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to challenge long-held beliefs. But as you begin to shift your mindset, you will notice subtle changes in the way you approach life. You will start to make decisions from a place of confidence rather than fear. You will begin to see opportunities where you once saw only risks. And most importantly, you will begin to feel a sense of peace and security, knowing that abundance is not something that must be chased or grasped at, but something that flows naturally when you are aligned with it. One of the most powerful ways to reinforce an abundant mindset is to surround yourself with symbols and reminders of abundance. This could be anything from creating a vision board that represents your financial goals, to reading books and listening to podcasts that inspire and uplift you. The more you immerse yourself in the energy of abundance, the more your mind will accept it as your reality. This doesn't mean that you should ignore the challenges or setbacks you may face along the way, but it does mean that you choose to focus on solutions rather than problems, on possibilities rather than limitations. The cultivation of a mind of abundance is the foundation upon which all wealth is built. It is not just about acquiring material riches, but about developing a sense of inner wealth that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. When you cultivate a mind of abundance, you are no longer at the mercy of the ups and downs of the economy, or the fluctuations of the stock market. Your wealth is not dependent on external factors, it is rooted in your belief in yourself and in your ability to create the life you desire. This is the quiet confidence of the silent millionaire, the knowledge that no matter what happens in the outside world, your wealth is secure because it comes from within. In the end, cultivating a mind of abundance is about more than just money. It is about creating a life that feels rich in every way, a life that is full of joy, purpose, and fulfillment. It is about understanding that wealth is not a destination, but a journey, and that the journey begins with the way you think, the way you perceive, and the way you choose to live. When you cultivate a mind of abundance, you are not just building financial wealth, you are building a life of true abundance, a life that is rich in every sense of the word. Chapter 3: The Power of Patience and Time. In a world that moves at an ever-increasing pace, where instant gratification is not only encouraged but expected, the concept of patience has become something of an afterthought. We live in a culture that glorifies speed, fast money, fast results, fast success. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing that the quicker something happens, the more valuable it must be. But in truth, the most enduring forms of success, especially when it comes to building wealth, are often the result of a slow, deliberate process. There is a quiet power in patience, a strength that comes from understanding that time is not your enemy but your greatest ally. Those who grasp this truth hold a profound advantage over those who chase quick fixes and short-term gains. Time, when used wisely, is one of the most potent forces for growing wealth. Wealth, like nature, follows its own seasons. There is a time for planting, a time for nurturing, and a time for harvesting. But many people try to rush the process, seeking to skip directly to the harvest without understanding the importance of the earlier stages. They want to see immediate results and become frustrated when things don't happen as quickly as they would like. But wealth, true lasting wealth, doesn't work that way. It's more like a tree than a crop. Its roots grow deep and its branches spread wide over many years, unseen and unnoticed at first, but eventually forming something solid, something that can withstand the storms of life. And just like a tree, wealth takes time to grow. It requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to trust in the process, even when the results are not immediately visible. There is a misconception that those who quietly amass wealth do so through a series of lucky breaks or secret strategies that catapult them into financial abundance overnight. But the reality is much less glamorous. The quiet millionaire understands that wealth is built through small, consistent actions repeated over long periods of time. It's not about hitting the jackpot or making a single brilliant investment. It's about the power of compounding, allowing your efforts, your investments, and your decisions to build upon themselves over time. This is where patience becomes invaluable. When you understand the power of compounding, you realize that even small gains, when allowed to accumulate, can lead to extraordinary results. But the key is time. Without time, compounding cannot work its magic. Think of compounding like a snowball rolling down a hill. At first, it starts small, barely noticeable, but as it continues to roll, it gathers more snow, growing larger and larger with each rotation. By the time it reaches the bottom of the hill, it has become a massive force, seemingly unstoppable. This is how wealth builds over time, quietly and steadily, often without attracting much attention until it has already reached significant proportions. But in the early stages, it requires patience. It requires the discipline to allow the snowball to grow at its own pace, without trying to rush the process or seek shortcuts. Those who lack patience often find themselves abandoning their efforts too soon, just as the snowball is starting to gain momentum. The power of patience extends beyond just financial growth. It also applies to personal development, career advancement, and the cultivation of meaningful relationships. Patience teaches us to trust in the long game, to recognize that immediate results are not always indicative of long-term success. In fact, the most successful people are often those who are willing to put in the time and effort without needing constant validation or immediate rewards. They understand that the seeds they plant today may not bear fruit for many years, but when they do, the harvest will be abundant. This is the essence of delayed gratification, understanding that the rewards worth having are the ones that take time to cultivate. But patience is not passive. It is not about waiting idly for things to happen. True patience is active. It requires ongoing effort, discipline, and focus. It's about doing the work consistently, day after day, even when the results are not immediately apparent. It's about trusting that the process is working, even if you can't yet see the outcome. This kind of patience is rare in a world that prizes speed and efficiency, but it is essential for those who seek to build wealth that lasts. The quiet millionaire does not rush. They understand that the journey towards financial freedom is a marathon, not a sprint. They pace themselves, knowing that steady progress over time will lead to far greater results than quick bursts of energy followed by burnout. Time is the great equalizer. No matter who you are or where you start, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. The difference lies in how we use that time. Some people spend their time chasing after the next big thing, always looking for the shortcut that will get them rich quick. But the quiet millionaire uses time differently. They understand that wealth is not built in a single day, week, or even year. It is the result of decades of consistent effort, of making smart financial decisions, of learning from mistakes, and of staying the course even when the road is difficult. This is where patience comes into play. Without patience, time is wasted on chasing illusions of quick success. But with patience, time becomes a powerful tool for creating real, lasting wealth. Consider the story of a bamboo tree. For the first several years of its life, the bamboo tree shows almost no visible growth. It remains a small shoot, barely breaking the surface of the soil. During this time, it would be easy to assume that nothing is happening, that the tree is not growing. But beneath the surface, the bamboo is developing an extensive root system, preparing itself for a massive growth spurt. Then, almost overnight, the bamboo tree can shoot up several feet in a matter of weeks. What seemed like sudden growth was, in reality, the result of years of quiet preparation. The same is true for wealth building. The early stages may seem slow and frustrating, but beneath the surface, your efforts are laying the groundwork for future success. When the time is right, your wealth will grow rapidly, seemingly out of nowhere, but it will be the result of years of patient, consistent work. Patience also allows you to weather the inevitable storms that come with any long-term endeavor. There will be setbacks along the way, moments when it feels like you are making no progress, or worse, that you are moving backward. The markets will fluctuate, unexpected expenses will arise, and life will throw obstacles in your path. But those who have cultivated patience understand that these setbacks are temporary. They know that the road to wealth is not a straight line, but a series of peaks and valleys. and they trust that as long as they stay the course, continue to make smart decisions, and remain committed to their long-term goals, they will eventually reach their destination. In the end, patience is not just about waiting, it's about maintaining a sense of calm and confidence in the face of uncertainty. It's about trusting in the process, even when the results are not immediately visible. It's about understanding that time is on your side, as long as you are willing to give it the space to work its magic. Those who rush the process, who demand instant results, often find themselves disappointed and frustrated. But those who embrace patience, who are willing to play the long game, discover that time becomes their greatest asset. Wealth, like anything worth having, takes time to build. It requires patience, persistence, and an unwavering belief in the power of small, consistent actions. The quiet millionaire knows this. They understand that while the world may chase after quick fixes and overnight success, true wealth is built quietly, over time, through the steady accumulation of smart decisions and disciplined actions. They are not in a hurry because they know that wealth is not a race. It is a journey, and the journey itself is just as important as the destination. With patience as their guide, they move forward with confidence, knowing that each step they take brings them closer to the financial freedom they seek. They trust in the power of time, knowing that in the end, it is time that will transform their efforts into lasting wealth. Chapter 4: Strategic Silence, Mastering the Quiet. In a world where visibility often equates to success, where social media amplifies even the smallest victories and the most trivial of details, mastering the art of silence can seem counterintuitive. Yet, it is this very silence that becomes one of the greatest tools for those who seek not just to build wealth, but to build it securely, without unnecessary risk or exposure. Strategic silence is not about avoidance or secrecy in the negative sense, but about understanding the immense value of moving in a way that does not attract unnecessary attention. It is about recognizing that not all victories need to be shared, and that not all progress needs to be broadcast. When used wisely, silence becomes a strategy, a method of protecting both your wealth and your peace of mind. The world today encourages us to share everything. Social media thrives on oversharing, creating an illusion that the more we reveal, the more successful we appear. We are conditioned to believe that visibility equals validation, and that without public recognition, our efforts are somehow diminished. However, the quiet millionaire understands the opposite to be true. The less visible their success, the more control they retain over it. Silence allows them to operate without interference, without the distractions that come from seeking external validation. It creates a buffer, a space where decisions can be made with clarity and purpose, unaffected by the opinions or judgments of others. In a world that rewards noise, mastering silence becomes a powerful act of self-discipline and self-preservation. Strategic silence, when practiced effectively, is not just about keeping financial matters private, it is about creating an environment where focus and intention can thrive. Noise, whether in the form of external opinions or self-imposed pressure to perform publicly, scatters our energy and attention. When we are constantly sharing our progress or seeking validation from others, we are dividing our focus between the actual work and the performance of that work. The quiet millionaire avoids this trap by keeping their efforts under the radar, focusing entirely on the actions that will yield results rather than on the spectacle of those actions. This allows for a deeper level of concentration and more thoughtful decision-making, which ultimately leads to greater success. Silence also serves as a form of protection. When you move quietly, you avoid the scrutiny that often accompanies public displays of wealth or success. The world can be a competitive and sometimes ruthless place, where those who are too visible may become targets of envy, manipulation, or even theft. By keeping a low profile, the quiet millionaire safeguards their wealth from unnecessary risks. They avoid the pitfalls that come with attracting too much attention, pitfalls that can include everything from unsolicited financial advice to being drawn into unhealthy comparisons with others. In silence, they find the freedom to build their wealth on their own terms, without interference or distraction. One of the most important aspects of strategic silence is learning to be comfortable with the absence of external validation. In a society that often equates visibility with success, this can be challenging. There is a certain satisfaction that comes from being recognized for your achievements, from having others acknowledge your progress. But the quiet millionaire understands that true success is not measured by the opinions of others, but by the internal sense of accomplishment that comes from knowing you are on the right path. They have cultivated a deep sense of self-confidence that does not rely on external validation. This allows them to continue building wealth quietly, without the need to constantly announce their progress to the world. Moreover, strategic silence allows the quiet millionaire to control the narrative of their success. When you share too much, too soon, you open yourself up to the influence of others. Their opinions, their doubts, their expectations can begin to shape the way you see yourself and your journey. This can lead to second-guessing, to making decisions based on what others think rather than what you know to be true for yourself. By keeping silent, you retain control over your own story. You decide when and how to share your success, if at all. This gives you the freedom to stay true to your own vision and to build your wealth in a way that aligns with your values and long-term goals. But strategic silence is not just about withholding information, it is also about listening. In the quiet, you create space for reflection, for learning, and for growth. When you are not constantly talking, you become more attuned to the opportunities around you. You begin to notice patterns, trends, and insights that might have been missed in the noise of constant communication. The quiet millionaire uses this time to observe, to learn from the successes and failures of others, and to refine their own strategies. They understand that sometimes the most valuable insights come not from speaking, but from listening and paying attention to what is happening around them. Silence also cultivates a sense of inner peace that is crucial for long-term success. The journey towards wealth can be stressful, filled with challenges, risks, and uncertainties. When you are constantly exposed to the opinions and expectations of others, it can be difficult to maintain a sense of calm and focus. But in the quiet, you can reconnect with your own intuition, with your own sense of purpose. You create a space where you can think clearly, make decisions confidently, and move forward with a sense of calm assurance. This inner peace is one of the greatest assets a quiet millionaire can cultivate, for it allows them to weather the storms of life with grace and resilience. The practice of strategic silence also extends to how the quiet millionaire interacts with others. In business, for example, silence can be a powerful tool in negotiations. Those who are comfortable with silence can hold their position with confidence, allowing the other party to reveal more information or to make concessions. In personal finance, silence can prevent unnecessary spending or investment risks that arise from being influenced by others' opinions. The quiet millionaire knows when to speak and when to remain silent, understanding that not every thought needs to be shared, not every opportunity needs to be announced, and not every success needs to be celebrated publicly. At its core, strategic silence is about mastering the balance between action and stillness. It is about knowing when to make bold moves and when to step back and let your actions speak for themselves. The quiet millionaire does not need to boast or brag about their success because they are secure in the knowledge that their wealth is growing steadily, quietly, and on their own terms. This quiet confidence is one of the most powerful traits a person can possess. It allows them to move through the world with a sense of purpose and clarity, unburdened by the need for external approval. Strategic silence, then, is not a retreat from the world, but a powerful strategy for engaging with it in a more intentional and effective way. It is about creating a space where you can think, plan, and act without the distractions of noise and external pressure. It is about protecting your wealth and your peace of mind from the demands of a culture that values visibility over substance. In this space of quiet, the quiet millionaire finds the freedom to build their wealth thoughtfully, deliberately, and with a sense of inner calm that is not easily shaken. Ultimately, mastering the art of strategic silence is about recognizing that true wealth is not something that needs to be broadcast or flaunted. It is something that grows quietly, in the background, away from the noise and distractions of the world. The quiet millionaire understands that the greatest victories are often the ones that go unnoticed, that the most powerful moves are the ones made in silence. In this way, silence becomes not just a tool for building wealth, but a way of life, a life that is rich in both material success and inner fulfillment. Chapter 5: Invisible Investments, the True Wealth Builders. We often think of investments in the most traditional sense: stocks, real estate, businesses, and tangible assets that grow in value over time. These are the outward, measurable forms of wealth building that most people are familiar with, but they are only part of the equation. The quiet millionaire understands that the most significant investments are often the ones that are invisible, the ones that do not show up on a balance sheet or in a portfolio, yet these investments are the true foundation upon which lasting wealth is built. Invisible investments are those that do not have an immediate or obvious monetary return, but pay dividends in ways that are far more valuable over time. They are the investments you make in yourself, in your relationships, in your skills, and in the kind of life that will continue to generate wealth long after the initial effort has been put in. One of the most critical invisible investments is in personal growth and education. While formal education might have an upfront cost and a clear credential attached to it, true lifelong learning is often less visible but infinitely more powerful. The quiet millionaire invests in the expansion of their mind, constantly seeking new knowledge, skills, and perspectives that will enhance their ability to create and manage wealth. This kind of education is not always formalized. It might come from books, mentors, experiences, or even from learning through failure. But these lessons accumulate over time, forming a deep well of wisdom that can be drawn upon when making decisions. The wealthiest individuals are not necessarily those who hold the most prestigious degrees, but those who have developed the sharpest minds, the clearest vision, and the most adaptable strategies. The return on investment from personal growth is immeasurable because it multiplies your ability to seize opportunities, avoid pitfalls, and navigate the complexities of life with greater ease and confidence. Another form of invisible investment is in your health and well-being. Too often, people sacrifice their physical and mental health in the pursuit of wealth, believing that success at all costs is worth the toll it takes on their body and mind. But the quiet millionaire knows that without a strong foundation of health, no amount of financial wealth will bring true fulfillment. They understand that their physical vitality, mental clarity, and emotional resilience are the very tools that enable them to continue building wealth over the long term. Health is wealth in the truest sense, because without it, everything else loses its value. Investing in your health, whether through proper nutrition, exercise, rest, or stress management, is an invisible investment that allows you to function at your highest capacity. It is what ensures that you can enjoy the fruits of your labor, and more importantly, that you can sustain the effort required to keep growing your wealth. Relationships, too, are one of the most undervalued and invisible investments in the wealth-building process. The quiet millionaire understands that no one truly builds wealth in isolation. Success is often the result of the connections you make, the people you surround yourself with, and the relationships you nurture over time. These relationships are not transactional, they are built on trust, mutual respect, and shared values. Whether it's a mentor who provides guidance, a business partner who complements your skills, or a network of like-minded individuals who challenge and inspire you, the relationships you invest in often become the most valuable assets in your life. These invisible investments are rarely recognized in the early stages, but they pay off in ways that go far beyond monetary gains. They provide support during difficult times, open doors to new opportunities, and create a sense of community and belonging that enhances every other area of life. The quiet millionaire also makes invisible investments in their reputation and integrity. While these qualities may seem intangible, they are among the most critical assets a person can have. Reputation is not something that can be bought or sold, yet it has an enormous impact on your ability to build and maintain wealth. A reputation for honesty, reliability, and ethical behavior creates trust, and trust is the currency of all successful relationships, whether in business or in personal life. When people trust you, they are more likely to invest in you, to work with you, and to support your endeavors. Conversely, a damaged reputation can close doors and create obstacles that no amount of money can fix. The quiet millionaire understands that protecting their reputation is an invisible investment that requires constant attention and care. Every action, every decision, every interaction contributes to the cultivation of this asset, and while the returns may not be immediate, they are invaluable in the long run. Another key invisible investment is in the mastery of your emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, the ability to understand and manage your emotions, as well as the emotions of others, may not seem directly related to wealth building at first glance, but it is an essential component of long-term success. The quiet millionaire recognizes that the ability to navigate complex emotional landscapes is critical, whether in business negotiations, leadership, or personal relationships. Emotional intelligence allows you to maintain calm under pressure, to communicate effectively, and to build strong, empathetic connections with others. It also helps you to manage the inevitable stresses and challenges that come with building wealth. By investing in your emotional intelligence, you become better equipped to handle difficult situations with grace and to make decisions that are not clouded by temporary emotions. This invisible investment yields dividends in every aspect of life, creating stability and resilience that are the hallmarks of sustainable success. The quiet millionaire also places a high value on the invisible investment of time. Time, unlike money, cannot be replaced or replenished. It is the most finite resource we have, and how we choose to invest it determines the quality and quantity of the wealth we build. The quiet millionaire is deliberate with their time, understanding that every moment spent is an opportunity to either move closer to or further away from their goals. They invest their time in activities that have a high return, whether that is working on their business, developing their skills, nurturing important relationships, or taking care of their physical and mental health. This doesn't mean they avoid leisure or rest, but rather that they are mindful of how they use their time, recognizing that it is their most precious asset. By investing time wisely, they create the conditions for wealth to grow naturally and sustainably. Perhaps one of the most subtle yet powerful invisible investments is in self-discipline. The quiet millionaire understands that without discipline, even the best strategies and opportunities will fall short. Self-discipline is the invisible force that keeps you on track, that ensures you stick to your plans and resist the distractions that can derail your progress. It is the ability to delay gratification, to forego short-term pleasures in favor of long-term gains. This invisible investment is not always easy, but it is essential. Discipline compounds over time, just like financial investments. Each small act of discipline, whether it's saving instead of spending, choosing to learn instead of procrastinating, or staying committed to your goals in the face of setbacks, builds upon the last, creating a momentum that becomes unstoppable. The quiet millionaire knows that this invisible investment in discipline is what ultimately separates those who succeed from those who don't. Finally, the quiet millionaire invests in their mindset. This is perhaps the most invisible of all investments, but it is also the most foundational. A wealth-building mindset is one that embraces possibility, that sees challenges as opportunities for growth, and that is unshaken by temporary setbacks. It is a mindset rooted in abundance rather than scarcity, in the belief that there is always more to learn, more to achieve, and more to give. This mindset is not something you are born with, it is something you cultivate through practice, through reflection, and through surrounding yourself with people and resources that support your growth. The quiet millionaire invests in their mindset by continually challenging themselves, by seeking out new perspectives, and by staying open to the lessons that life has to offer. This invisible investment in mindset is what allows them to keep growing, even when they have already achieved significant financial success. In the end, invisible investments are the true wealth builders. They are the foundation upon which all visible wealth rests. Without these invisible investments, the outward signs of success, money, assets, and achievements are fragile and unsustainable. But with a strong foundation of personal growth, health, relationships, reputation, emotional intelligence, time, discipline, and mindset, the quiet millionaire creates a life of lasting wealth that extends far beyond financial success. These invisible investments may not be obvious to the outside world, but they are the most valuable assets a person can have. They are what make true wealth possible, and they are the reason why the quiet millionaire continues to grow, both in wealth and in life. Chapter 6: Building Quiet Momentum. In the pursuit of wealth, many people focus on grand gestures or dramatic leaps toward their financial goals, believing that success is built on moments of extraordinary effort. But the truth is, the most powerful and sustainable form of wealth is built through quiet, consistent momentum. The quiet millionaire understands that wealth is not created through sudden, explosive actions, but through the accumulation of small, seemingly insignificant steps taken day after day. This is the essence of quiet momentum, moving forward with steady, deliberate actions that, over time, build into something far greater than the sum of their parts. There is a profound power in these small actions, a compounding effect that is often invisible in the moment but becomes undeniable as the years go by. Quiet momentum begins with a commitment to consistency. It is the understanding that success is not about doing extraordinary things occasionally, but about doing ordinary things consistently and with intention. The quiet millionaire doesn't wait for perfect conditions or ideal opportunities to take action. Instead, they focus on making progress every single day, no matter how small that progress may seem. It might be as simple as setting aside a portion of their income for savings or investments, or spending a few minutes each day learning something new, or maintaining their health and well-being through daily habits. These small actions, when repeated over time, create a powerful force that propels them toward their goals without the need for dramatic or risky moves. Consistency, above all else, is the key to building quiet momentum. The concept of momentum is often misunderstood. People think of momentum as something that is immediately felt, as though each action should yield a noticeable result. But in reality, momentum is often imperceptible at first. It starts slowly, almost invisibly, much like a heavy boulder being pushed up a hill. The initial effort is great, and the progress seems minimal. But with each push, the boulder moves a little further, the slope becomes less steep, and eventually, with enough consistent effort, the boulder begins to roll on its own. This is the power of quiet momentum. It may feel slow at first, but once it builds, it becomes almost unstoppable. The quiet millionaire understands that the early stages of building momentum can be frustrating, but they trust the process, knowing that their consistent actions will eventually create the compounding effect that accelerates their progress over time. Compounding is one of the most powerful forces in the universe, and it applies not only to financial investments, but to every aspect of life. The quiet millionaire recognizes that the small actions they take each day, while seemingly insignificant in isolation, compound over time to create extraordinary results. This is true in building wealth, in developing skills, in improving health, and in strengthening relationships. Each small investment of time, effort, or resources compounds, creating exponential growth that would have been impossible to achieve through sporadic bursts of effort. The challenge, however, is that compounding requires patience. The effects are not immediate, and it is easy to become discouraged when the results are not visible right away. But the quiet millionaire remains focused, trusting in the power of time and consistency to deliver results far greater than the sum of their individual actions. In building quiet momentum, it is crucial to focus on the process rather than the outcome. Many people become fixated on the end result, constantly measuring their progress against their ultimate goal. This can be discouraging, especially in the early stages when the progress feels slow or insignificant. But the quiet millionaire understands that the key to success lies in falling in love with the process itself. They take satisfaction not in the distant future but in the daily actions that bring them closer to their goals. By focusing on the process, they remove the pressure of immediate results and instead find joy in the act of building something slowly, steadily, and sustainably. This shift in focus from the outcome to the process is what allows them to maintain quiet momentum, even when progress seems minimal. Another critical aspect of building quiet momentum is the ability to resist distractions. In a world that is constantly vying for our attention, it can be difficult to stay focused on the small, consistent actions that lead to long-term success. Distractions come in many forms: shiny new opportunities that promise quick rewards, the temptation to deviate from a plan when progress seems slow, or the lure of short-term pleasures that offer instant gratification. But the quiet millionaire is disciplined in their approach. They understand that distractions, no matter how enticing, can derail the momentum they have worked so hard to build. By maintaining focus and avoiding the temptation to chase after every new opportunity or indulge in every impulse, they preserve the momentum that is steadily carrying them toward their goals. One of the most powerful ways to build quiet momentum is through the creation of habits. Habits are the building blocks of consistency, the automatic actions that we take without thinking. The quiet millionaire recognizes that by turning their goals into habits, they can remove the friction and resistance that often accompany the pursuit of success. Rather than relying on willpower or motivation, which can be fleeting, they create systems that make success inevitable. Whether it's automatically transferring a portion of their income into savings each month, setting aside time each day for personal development, or committing to a regular exercise routine, these habits create a foundation of quiet momentum that carries them forward even on days when motivation is low. Over time, these habits become second nature, requiring little effort or thought, yet delivering tremendous results. Another important element of quiet momentum is the ability to embrace incremental progress. The quiet millionaire understands that success is not about making massive leaps forward but about making small, consistent steps in the right direction. Each step may seem insignificant on its own, but when combined, they create a powerful force that drives them toward their goals. Incremental progress might not be glamorous or exciting, but it is reliable and sustainable. By focusing on making just a little bit of progress each day, the quiet millionaire ensures that they are always moving forward, even if the pace seems slow. Over time, these small steps add up, and what once seemed like an impossible goal becomes achievable through the power of quiet momentum. Perhaps one of the greatest benefits of building quiet momentum is the sense of confidence and control it brings. When you are constantly chasing after big wins or dramatic results, you are at the mercy of external circumstances. Your success depends on things outside of your control, market conditions, opportunities, luck. But when you build quiet momentum through consistent, disciplined actions, you regain control over your own destiny. You no longer need to rely on external factors for your success because you are creating it through your own efforts, day by day. This sense of control brings with it a quiet confidence, a belief that no matter what happens in the world around you, you are capable of achieving your goals through the steady accumulation of small victories. In the process of building quiet momentum, the quiet millionaire also learns the value of patience. Momentum is not built overnight, and the results of their efforts are often not visible in the early stages. But they have cultivated the patience to stay the course, trusting that their consistent actions will eventually yield results. This patience allows them to avoid the common pitfalls of impulsive decisions or hasty actions that can sabotage long-term success. By remaining patient and focused, they are able to build a solid foundation of momentum that will carry them through the inevitable challenges and setbacks they will face along the way. Patience, combined with consistency, is the engine that drives quiet momentum, turning small efforts into massive achievements over time. Ultimately, quiet momentum is about playing the long game. The quiet millionaire understands that true wealth, whether financial or otherwise, is not built in a single moment or through a single action. It is the result of a lifetime of consistent, intentional effort. They are not in a hurry to reach their destination because they know that every step they take, no matter how small, is moving them closer to their goals. This long-term perspective allows them to remain calm and focused, even in the face of setbacks or delays. They trust in the power of quiet momentum, knowing that with each passing day, their efforts are compounding, their skills are improving, and their wealth is growing. Quiet momentum is not flashy or attention-grabbing, but it is the most powerful and reliable path to lasting success. In the end, building quiet momentum is about mastering the art of slow, deliberate progress. It is about recognizing that success is not a sprint, but a marathon, and that the small, consistent actions you take each day are what will ultimately carry you across the finish line. The quiet millionaire does not need to rush or chase after success because they are building it quietly, steadily, and with purpose. And as their quiet momentum grows, it becomes an unstoppable force that propels them toward their goals, creating a life of wealth, fulfillment, and freedom that is both sustainable and deeply satisfying. Chapter 7: The Quiet Confidence of Success. There's a certain kind of success that doesn't need to be flaunted or loudly announced to the world. It's a quiet, internal success, a confidence that emerges from the knowledge that you have done the work, that you have made the right decisions, and that you are exactly where you need to be. This quiet confidence is not built overnight, nor is it earned through sudden or dramatic victories. It comes from years of consistent effort, from a series of small but significant wins that accumulate over time, and from the deep understanding that true wealth, both material and personal, is not just about what you have, but about who you have become in the process of building it. The quiet millionaire embodies this confidence, walking through life with an assurance that is not derived from the external trappings of success, but from an inner sense of fulfillment and security. The quiet confidence of success is not about arrogance or superiority. It is not about needing to prove yourself to anyone else. In fact, it is the very opposite of that. It is the absence of the need for validation from others. When you have this kind of confidence, you are no longer concerned with how others perceive you or whether they recognize your achievements. You are free from the pressure to conform to society's expectations or to compete with those around you. You no longer feel the need to chase after accolades or external markers of success because you know that your worth is not determined by those things. This freedom is one of the greatest gifts that quiet success brings. It allows you to live life on your own terms, to pursue your goals for the sake of personal fulfillment rather than for the approval of others. Quiet confidence is also rooted in the deep understanding that success is not a destination but a journey. The quiet millionaire knows that there is no final point at which they will have arrived, no ultimate achievement that will signal the end of their pursuit. Instead, they see success as an ongoing process of growth, learning, and refinement. Each milestone they reach is not the end, but merely a stepping stone on a much longer path. This mindset allows them to remain grounded and focused, even as they achieve great things. They are not swayed by temporary setbacks or inflated by temporary victories because they understand that success is fluid, always evolving. Their confidence comes from knowing that they are continually moving forward, growing stronger, wiser, and more capable with each passing day. One of the key characteristics of quiet confidence is the ability to remain calm in the face of adversity. Life is full of challenges, uncertainties, and unexpected twists, and no one is immune to these difficulties. However, the quiet millionaire approaches these challenges with a sense of calm resilience. They do not panic or become overwhelmed when things go wrong because they trust in their ability to navigate difficult situations. They have built a strong foundation, both in terms of their wealth and in terms of their mindset, and this foundation gives them the stability they need to weather any storm. Their confidence is not shaken by temporary setbacks because they know that setbacks are just that, temporary. With time, patience, and continued effort, they will overcome whatever obstacles come their way, just as they have done before. This calm confidence extends to their financial decisions as well. The quiet millionaire does not make impulsive or reactionary choices based on fear, greed, or the opinions of others. Instead, they make thoughtful, well-considered decisions that are aligned with their long-term goals. They are not swayed by market fluctuations or the latest trends because they have a clear vision of what they are working towards, and they trust in the process they have established. This kind of decision-making requires a high level of emotional intelligence and self-awareness. It requires the ability to remain patient and disciplined, even when others are acting out of panic or excitement. The quiet millionaire knows that true wealth is built not through rash decisions or high-stakes risks, but through careful planning, consistent action, and a deep understanding of the principles of wealth building. Another aspect of quiet confidence is the ability to embrace humility. While it might seem contradictory at first, true confidence is often accompanied by a deep sense of humility. The quiet millionaire recognizes that no matter how much they achieve, there is always more to learn, more to improve upon, and more to give. They are not driven by ego or a desire to be seen as the smartest or most successful person in the room. Instead, they are driven by a desire to continue growing, to refine their skills, and to contribute to the world in meaningful ways. This humility allows them to remain open to new ideas, to seek out mentorship and advice when needed, and to acknowledge their own limitations. It is this balance between confidence and humility that allows them to continue evolving and achieving new levels of success. Quiet confidence also manifests in the way the quiet millionaire approaches their relationships. They do not seek relationships that are transactional or based on what others can do for them. Instead, they build deep, meaningful connections with people who share their values and support their growth. They understand that true wealth is not just about financial success, but about the quality of their relationships and the impact they have on the lives of others. This confidence allows them to give freely, without fear of loss, because they know that their wealth, both financial and personal, comes from within. They are not afraid to share their knowledge, their resources, or their time with others because they understand that giving is an essential part of receiving. In this way, their confidence is not only quiet but generous, extending beyond themselves to lift others up along the way. Another key element of quiet confidence is the ability to enjoy the present moment without constantly worrying about the future. The quiet millionaire is not consumed by anxiety or fear about what might happen down the road because they have built a solid foundation that allows them to feel secure in their current situation. This doesn't mean they are complacent or that they stop planning for the future, but it does mean that they are able to find joy and contentment in the present. They are not constantly striving for more or fixated on the next achievement. Instead, they take the time to appreciate what they have already accomplished and to enjoy the fruits of their labor. This ability to live in the present, while still being mindful of the future, is a hallmark of true wealth. It is the peace that comes from knowing that you have done the work, that you are on the right path, and that you can trust in the process of your continued growth. Quiet confidence is also about embracing the idea of enough. In a world that constantly tells us we need more money, more success, more recognition, the quiet millionaire is able to recognize when they have enough. This doesn't mean they stop striving for improvement or growth, but it does mean that they are not driven by a sense of lack or scarcity. They are able to find contentment in what they have, without feeling the need to accumulate endlessly. This mindset frees them from the pressure to constantly chase after the next big thing and allows them to focus on what truly matters, living a life that is rich in meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. They understand that wealth is not just about having more, but about having enough to live the life they want to live. Finally, the quiet confidence of success is about leaving a legacy, not in the sense of leaving behind a fortune or a name that will be remembered, but in the sense of making a lasting impact on the world around them. The quiet millionaire is not content with simply accumulating wealth for their own benefit. They want to use their success to make a difference, to contribute to causes they care about, and to help others achieve their own success. This desire to give back is a natural extension of their confidence because they know that their wealth is not diminished by sharing it with others. In fact, it is enriched by the act of giving. Whether through philanthropy, mentorship, or simply being a positive influence in the lives of those around them, the quiet millionaire leaves a legacy of generosity, kindness, and impact that far outweighs any material wealth they may leave behind. In the end, the quiet confidence of success is about much more than financial wealth. It is about a deep sense of inner peace, a trust in oneself and in the process of life, and a commitment to living a life that is aligned with one's values and purpose. It is the confidence that comes from knowing that you have done the work, that you have built something meaningful, and that you are in control of your own destiny. It is a confidence that doesn't need to be shouted from the rooftops or displayed for the world to see. It is a quiet, steady assurance that allows you to move through life with grace, resilience, and a deep sense of fulfillment.